What's happening, friends? Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick, and on this channel I talk about cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, and economics. Today's video is about Etherscan and 3 ways that you can use Etherscan in your research about cryptocurrency and DeFi. Etherscan is the blockchain explorer for Ethereum and is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal as you do your own research. And I'll focus on Etherscan because Ethereum is the largest smart contract network. However, most other chains have their own explorer. Polygon has Polygon Scan, Avalanche has Snowtrace, and the other major chains mostly have something similar, and you could apply the same tactics that I'm going to talk about here to these other chains. And you could see, for example, that these ones, they look pretty much identical, right? But we'll focus on Etherscan. There's a lot of cool things you can do with this, so let's get into the video. First thing you can do in Etherscan that's pretty powerful is you can actually look up specific tokens. So you can use Etherscan to look up, wallets, contracts, tokens, transactions, anything that's on Ethereum. But so for example, say you wanted to look up details about Frax share. So that is the token, the value accruing token for the DeFi project Frax. You could search it here and click on it. And to start, you're just going to see some basic stats. So this is the first tool you can use is you can use it to look up tokens, like I mentioned, and you can see the price, the max supply, some things that you would probably be able to see on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap as well. You can see the number of holders. That's actually pretty interesting, I think. There's, of course, more than this in reality because some of those are going to be in exchanges and it might be in one exchange wallet and more than one person on the exchange holds it. But that's pretty interesting. If you're looking at small caps that are only on chain, you might want to see how the holder growth is growing over time, right? Are you one of 300 holders for a coin, right? That's pretty early. Or are there 10,000 people in it? And you want to see robust growth in that category. You can also see transfers here. So this part I don't use so much. I don't monitor it so much, I should say. But you might be interested in sort of tracking whale transfers or exchanges on certain types of coins. That's pretty interesting. But one thing that is really powerful that you can do is you can actually look at the top holders here. So they have the top 1,000 holders out of 8,048, and you can see the percentage that each of these wallets holds. And you can see here, some of these are labeled. So for example, there's locked FXS, there's the community pool, and then there's some contracts. So these ones with a little document symbol next to it are contracts. You can see there's some contracts that are locked in. So there's, in this particular coin, there's no massive whales that are individual wallets that own maybe 10, 20, 30% of the supply. But if you look at some other coins, then you might find, hey, who is this person who owns all the supply? And it's good to check on, especially for micro caps. But then if you go down here, you might say, okay, so here's someone who owns a good chunk. They've got $12 million of this coin, and that can be helpful in your research because if you are able to find out who that wallet belongs to, then you might say, okay, well, this person is bullish on it. Maybe it's someone with $1 billion in their wallet and they hold your coin. Then that's a sign that someone who is intelligent and has managed to accrue that sort of portfolio is also bullish on this coin. And so that's a way that you can use this token page to do some research. And there's a lot of other cool stuff on here too. Like there's analytics. You can see, for example, the number of transfers and the unique receivers and senders. So I'm actually surprised by this. You can see on most days, the FXS token only has 200 to 500 people sending or receiving it, right? But if you really were interested, you could dive into some of these coins and look at a trend across time. If it was just starting out, see, is it getting distributed to more people, and so on and so forth. And so that's basically what you would use the token page for. You can also look at the contract itself if you know enough solidity to do that, but we're not going to go through that in this video. So that is the token page, but something else that's interesting is you can also look at wallets. And so that is the second thing you can use Etherscan for, is to analyze specific wallets. So say I clicked on this wallet here. I don't know who this belongs to. Whoever it is, they have a lot of money though. So first thing it did was it just filtered specifically to showing this person's FXS holdings. However, if I click on their address, then I can go here. I can see, looks like they've got about 4.4 Ethereum, but you could go and if you see someone like this who, has a large portfolio, then you could track their wallet and you could say, okay, what else are they in? And you got to be careful here because sometimes people will create transactions that make it appear like large wallets are buying things when they're not really. So you do have to be careful. But you could look at and see, which protocols are they interacting with? Are they buying any new tokens? And so on and so forth. And again, I don't know whose wallet this belongs to. Another way that you might find specific wallets is, let's take Synapse, for example. Synapse is a bridge that has gotten some attention recently. I'm going to do this on Synapse because it's a bit smaller than Frax, and you need to have a token that I think has under maybe 100,000 transfers or something like that. But basically, you can go to the last page here on transactions. So you can see when the token was created. This token was created 262 days ago. And then we can find which people were early people to buy it, right? So you might be able to say, okay, this person has a history of buying tokens early. And let's see if we can find someone here. So again, I don't know who these are. I'm doing this on the spot. These people appear to have been bridging. Let's see if we can find someone who purchased. This person was adding liquidity. Here we go. So seeing some sushi swap transactions 250 days ago. So for example, this was just less than 2 weeks after this project was founded. This is now one of the largest bridges. Whoever this is, swapped some Ethereum for some Synapse. And so let's see if we can look at this wallet now, right? So it was from this person, and yeah, this wallet does not appear to have a ton in it right now, but you could, go through a few of these wallets like this, see if you can find any that have a history of making good calls. And I'm just picking this wallet on the spot, but you could see if they have a history of making good calls, and then maybe you want to track that wallet, or you want to plug it into something like DBank and see which DeFi protocols they're following, or you want to follow it and then get notifications when they add something new to their portfolio. So that's number 2 as far as the tools you can use Etherscan for. You can track specific wallets. And the third thing you can use it for is a bit more broad, but is also useful for getting a sense of how different networks are performing, as well as the overall state of the market. Is you can go to this charts and stats tab over in resources. And here you can actually see stats about the network. So for example, you can see the daily transactions. We can see right here that the transactions peaked last May. And isn't that interesting to know that the transactions actually have never fully recovered on Ethereum to where they were last May, although they did start to get close at the end of October. But we can see here, for example, that the transactions have been trending down for a few months. And, ideally you want to see networks where it's trending up. You can see the unique addresses over time and see that right now we're adding about 90,000 unique Ethereum addresses over time. In comparison, in January, we were adding 1 to 200,000 a day. And so that's another stat that might be interesting. And there's just a lot of other interesting stats about the network here, which again can lend itself to understanding how healthy the market is as well. And yeah, one other one that I like to look at is sometimes on here it shows you the number of contracts that were deployed. I don't see that right now. I'm totally I must be missing it. Oh, there it is. Daily verified contracts chart. So this is interesting as well because this tells you the developer activity. So this is actually, I don't know what happened here on May 1st, but you can see this is actually looking pretty good because that means that there's more developer activity. So yes, some of the users have less left. Overall transaction value is not as high, but daily verified contracts hit a new all-time high just a few weeks ago. And in other words, that means there's more developers than ever that are building on Ethereum. And so that's just one of the sort of cool things you can use Etherscan for. And so yeah, that is 3 ways that you can use Etherscan. Take your research to the next level. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ways you're using Etherscan. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.